Hey everyone, it's your buddy Crypto Profit back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about AMP. Obviously a coin with such big potential behind it. We see massive adoption really taking place right now with AMP, as we see almost a 24% increase in the last 24 hours, already increasing up to 121.84% in the last week alone. If we take a look at the last month of AMP, it's only done about an 81% increase. So it's crazy that we had a stabilization point at about 3 to 4 cents and then a massive increase right after it. We know exactly why this may be, but we are going to talk about some of the big things that have been happening with AMP, as well as why AMP is still a coin worth looking into. AMP is an Ethereum token, first off, that aims to collateralize payments on the Flexa network, making them instant and secure. If BTC or ETH payment fails due to unconfirmed or long transaction times, the AMP collateral can instead be liquidated to cover losses, while the vendor receives payment in fiat, potentially providing greater really assurances to both parties. So this is definitely a coin, like I said, worth looking into. We're going to talk really about what AMP's been doing recently and why it's a coin worth looking into and where we think it's going to end up by the end of June, July, and 2021. If you guys want to stay up to date with AMP as well as so many other altcoins on the channel, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video. So first off, we see AMP can collateralize any type of asset transfer, whether digital or physical. Today, AMP is providing the collateral for instant fraud-proof transactions made using more than 25 actually different digital assets. So obviously a lot listed here. We're not going to go through all of them, but like I said, AMP is definitely one of those tokens that a lot of people are very interested in. There's really a market for this idea of safety and security. That's exactly like I talked about KuCoin, actually one of the coins I've been talking about recently. If we go to my profile on Twitter, we scroll down, actually I just talked about it. So I told my silver members and later on everyone so many times to get in at 0.0028, 0.05, 0.08, 0.12, and more. Now KuCoin at the big 50 cents. So if you follow my types of calls, I guess if you want these types of calls, pay attention and follow closely, but not blindly. So it's 17,757% increase. KuCoin does pretty much the same thing in a way, but much, much different at the same time. So KuCoin, you can send payments and undo them, basically providing safety. You can have passcodes on them. So, if you send it to the wrong address, you can undo the transaction. We've talked about that one before. I won't go too much into detail on KuCoin, but what I will say is AMP is doing something similar, just different. And that's one thing that I think there's definitely a market for. I could definitely see a percent increase that is massive. Obviously, 17 to 18,000% increase, maybe not. But specifically, I think AMP could see big potential behind it. So AMP is now available on Coinbase as well. So obviously, this was the big thing as of Thursday, June 10th. AMP obviously available to buy and sell on Coinbase, one of the most trusted and easy to use digital assets. I will have my Coinbase referral link linked in the description below if you guys want to take advantage of Coinbase referral link, as well as Voyager link, as well as crypto.com link, as well as Binance.us, as well as so many other really exchanges down below in the description of the video. So if you guys are new to exchanges, if you want to find out what exchange works best for you, take advantage of my description, jump down there and join using one of my referral links. It definitely helps support the channel, and it'll help support you as well as you get a bonus when signing up. We also have, there are many ways to earn AMP rewards right now, so definitely take advantage of these. If you guys are looking to get into AMP, or you maybe already got some AMP, you can add to your AMP by actually taking advantage of these reward mechanisms. We have, you can earn, or I guess you can stake payments on Flex, obviously Flexa network, and you can also learn, or I guess earn interest with Gemini, and you can learn AMP to really get your AMP at Coinbase. So you can go to coinbase.com/earn and earn that AMP as well. So you could get anywhere from $3 to $9 or even more really right now with AMP for free. So a great accessibility continuing to take place, obviously with the listing on Coinbase as well. We continue to see accessibility as a very big really pusher for why AMP is continuing to do so well. I think AMP's a great token, but you have to respect really what they're doing recently. But like I said, when it comes down to why we're seeing a 121.84% increase in the last week, it comes down to hype, and it also comes down to accessibility. So hype and accessibility obviously together equals big things. And I think all of that coming at once is definitely a big push here as to why AMP is pushing the, that high 12-cent mark that it was June 16th at 12 p.m. I do want to take a quick look now at a couple different things. So one thing to take a look at is AMP crypto has a bright future ahead thanks to increased adoption. So this is an article on investmenttu.com. It actually talks more about it. So it talks more about AMP crypto. It look into the crypto crystal ball. So many cryptos with a target for the moon follow the same formula. They have an active presence on Discord, AMP crypto checks that box. A social media presence on Twitter helps too. A dedicated subreddit is a nice touch too. And then it, talks more about really why AMP is what it is. So it talks about the strong tokenomics, a plan for future growth, a reason for increased adoption, and ease of investor access, which is the one we talked about quite a bit. Obviously, the easier to access or get access to a coin, the easier it is going to be to invest, and the more people that are going to do so. We also talked a little bit about this yesterday in our AMP video. Remember, guys, we do pretty much daily updates on every altcoin, so if you guys want to stay up to date with altcoins, like I said previously, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video. So here we see the first thing that crypto investors should know is that AMP is an Ethereum-based token. It acts as collateral for payments that are made using the Flexa network. This means that if the payment takes too long or fails, AMP collateral can be liquidated to cover the costs. That means that the vendor still gets paid, and it adds extra security for both buyers and sellers using crypto. AMP boasts that this can allow for it to cover a large variety of transaction types. That includes digital payments, fiat currency exchange, loan distributions, property sales, and obviously much more. There's a fixed supply of AMP tokens in order to reduce that risk of volatility, and AMP already works with a large variety of companies that made use of its services. Among them are Flexa, CoinGecko, Gemini, Sushi, Uniswap, and many, many others. So this is definitely a big deal. I think, a lot of people are very excited about AMP and where it's going to be going to. There's so many different price predictions out there right now, and I've talked to this. I guess I mentioned this a little bit in my last video. This is one of those coins that I honestly do not know exactly where it's going to go. A lot of people are looking for my price predictions on AMP, and I will say, like I said in the previous video, I think we are going to see kind of a downward spiral from this 11 to 12 cents at the very least. I think I said it at 9 cents in my previous video. I think we're going to see a downward spiral before we move back up. AMP's definitely a coin worth looking into, definitely a coin worth buying when you find a dip. But right now at 121% of an increase in the last week, you are going to be buying a very, very green looking price. You have to remember, we're in a market that's, an accumulation, manipulation, or FUD stage. This doesn't last usually too long during those stages. So do expect AMP to maybe come down to 6 to 7 cents, maybe even 5 or 4 cents. And, buying at those levels would be much, much safer than buying at this 11-cent price point for AMP, or 11 or 12%. I guess 11 or 12-cent price point, as we actually saw go to 12.3 June 16th at 11:30 a.m. So we are seeing, like I said, a crazy, crazy movement with AMP. We could actually continue to see it just continue to rise. Like I said, I mean, you have to look at things like Filecoin. Filecoin did a similar thing where it just rose to the top and crashed back down. We actually saw it go all the way up to $237, and now we're at $69. This happened with ICP as well. It just took some time for some of these coins. So you have to be a little bit careful when investing in straight green candles. You want to usually invest in red or really stabilized, assets. So you see here 55.74. We actually saw it push all the way to 750.73. Just imagine if you bought a lot at that 750.73. You're seeing massive decreases obviously across your portfolio right now when you really just drop straight in a downward spiral from 750 to 55. I think AMP has a great idea behind it. I think the token itself is fantastic. I think this price point, however, is overvalued, and we're starting to see that really already take place, possibly from a 12.3 price point to 11 cents, and maybe even moving below that now. I've talked about this before, guys. I'm not going to give you exact price predictions just because, I don't know exactly where AMP's going to end up. It's very hard to tell right now. TA is not going to help me just because there's so much FUD and manipulation in the market. And there's also the idea of AMP really just recently getting listed. We do have that Coinbase effect still taking place. We have a lot of hype around the coin. So it's a coin that I don't feel, too obligated to jump into and to give you guys a price prediction, because I always like to keep my price predictions very, very conservative and realistic. I will say, though, guys, my realistic, I guess, price prediction for you guys is that we do drop below 7 to 6 cent range, and then push back up to maybe a 10-cent range in the near future, and then continue from there. I think 11 to 12 cents is not our all-time high for AMP in the the long term, but you have to remember as well, we're in a $4.5 billion market cap right now on AMP. If we go down and we actually look, AMP is competing with some amazing coins. It's past EOS, it's past AVE, it's close to Monero, pretty much competing with Tron. So it's a little high for my liking right now, but it's definitely a coin, like I said, that I will be invested in the near future. I'm not invested in currently, but like I said, during this dip or when we get that drop to take place, I think it's a coin I like a lot. I just think, right now we're overvalued. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. We'll continue to keep you guys up to date with price predictions and obviously any big news or information that comes out. But today I just wanted to kind of quickly go over really what I'm thinking on AMP and where I could see it going in the near future. Obviously, I do think it will stabilize around this, 5 to 12 cent range for quite some time. Hopefully not dropping below 4 cents, but we could see what happens and keep you guys up to date. So thank you guys again for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want to stay up to date with crypto news, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video. Always remember, guys, that I am not a financial advisor, so always do your own research before investing. Thank you guys again. I'll see you all in the next one.